¿A dónde está papi? 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 Welcome to the Tuesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Tuesday. Welcome everybody. Derry Bennett, Michael Hassler, welcome everybody. It is Halloween, and yeah, I didn't think about any type of costume or anything like that. Maybe next year I'll remember to make something. I think I had a specific overlay that was meant to work with the green screen. It had like little ghosts that would come on the on the green screen. But yeah, I didn't really have much time this year to put anything on. I spent most of today working, so yeah, it is what it is. I come as an angry black man. Fair enough. Thank you, Michael Hassler, for putting the YouTube channel. Subscribe and all that. The scary ones are the GOP with rifles on lapels. Yeah, I mean, that's. Listen, the news is scary enough, right? Alio with the 12 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, folks. Well, on that note, I guess. If you if you didn't know, not that long ago, at some point today or yesterday, apparently, police found somebody that unalived themselves, but was planning a attack on an amusement park. They found this guy, a self-inflicted unalive. He unalived himself with a self-inflicted gunshot, and apparently they found him with all kind of tactical gear, and a rifle with plenty of ammunition. They found a pistol with ammunition, I believe, as well. So the point is, like, I'm not. The story is very, that's as far as we know. He apparently was planning something. I mean, with that kind of firepower, he was planning something big, or attempted to, I guess, maybe, and decided that he wasn't going to go through with it, and, well, he unalived himself. So the point being is that, unfortunately, this is not going to stop. No one seems to put any effort into trying to solve the issue, and please, folks, be very vigilant. Be aware, situational awareness. Try to avoid very populated areas if you can. I mean, it is what it is. It doesn't seem like anybody's going to take any serious, any serious actions on this. I don't see any legislation being proposed at all. Even with the incident in Minneapolis, there's just no political will to attempt to solve this issue. So best we can do right now, at least for ourselves, is to be vigilant, stay safe, folks. Halloween time and vote Biden in 2 weeks. Biden, you mean like the primaries? I'm here. Welcome. How's it going, Heat? All right, so let's get the show on the road. We'll start with a meme story. All right, meme video. I think at least we should do that. At least we should start. It is Halloween, so we'll start on a good note, right? It is crazy out there.
They've not shown this to you. Okay,
No.
what they're trying to say with this is that in your boots, you have heels.
Finally.
Okay. Listen, all right. In the grand scheme of things, this doesn't mean anything, okay? In the grand scheme of things, this does not mean anything, okay? It's just funny. That's it. That's it.
Finally, somebody's asked Ron DeSantis the question that I've wanted the media to ask him for a while now. What's with those heels, bro? So, as you'll see, as I'll get to, this is a
Yeah, I mean, like, phenomenal stuff here. Truly getting to the issues that are important.
clip from the Patrick Bet David podcast, the PBD podcast. Patrick Bet David is a conservative who I believe actually supports Ron DeSantis, but he's also not afraid to ask some awkward questions. Now, before I get into this, in case you're coming to this for the first time, you have no idea what's going on. There have been some questions around Ron DeSantis and his actual height. So I'll get to later on how important height can be to becoming president.
Listen, all right. Nothing wrong with being short, okay? I'm literally tiny. Now, for something completely different, exactly. It's time to lighten, you know, we're going to have some laughs a little bit, all right? At Ron DeSantis' expense, of course.
But it's clear Ron DeSantis is not the height that he is trying to be. So I'm going to go through some examples here. Here's one, a video that's been posted for a while. It's been going around on Twitter, TikTok. Check out this awkward walk. And like the the way he lifts his legs here, it's almost like it reminds me of when I walk through deep snow, where it's like you're like lifting your feet.
Okay, I think he's onto something maybe. So does Jenna Ellis DeSantis supporting? I don't know who Jenna Ellis is, I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember who she is. Oh, that's the lady that that's getting indicted and not indicted, that she pled guilty. We went over this. Wow. A complete lapse of thinking on my part. Yeah, I don't know who she's supporting.
In a way that is not natural. And we'll get to some closer images. But the distance between the back of this boot and the front is a bit extreme, leading many to believe that his foot is actually somewhere here and there's a massive heel around here. So I'm going to get to some other images. And he basically wears these boots. He doesn't wear any other like normal shoes. He just wears...
RDJ wears those kind of shoes too. Like, come on. You mean like Robert Downey Jr.? Listen, I'm here for the memes, okay? I'm short, okay? Just to be clear, I'm short. This is only to have laughs at the expense of Ron DeSantis, okay? That's it. That's the only purpose of this.
Awkward looking boots. So here's another example of that. Here's another one with the visualizer of...
Yes, very scientific visualizer here. Got it.
His foot may be. Again, notice how wide it is between the back of the foot and the front. I mean, I think this is...
Iron Man is allowed to be short. Yeah, it's probably an advantage. It's probably an advantage to be in that suit, right? To be smaller. It's probably an advantage. It's probably an advantage to be in the shorter to get in the suit. He saved us, man. True. True. That's right.
Maybe a little extreme, but I don't think it's too far off. There are also, articles going over his ugly boots, and they call this an investigation.
An investigation?
This is all.
Oh my God. Are you serious right now? They had to... And truly riveting investigative reporting has been found that... Okay. All right.
All he wears are these boots. And he wears these cowboy boots as well. These ones here, which are similarly designed. You see here they have where they think the bones may be in his legs while he's walking. But I want to get to the image at the bottom here. So another example of where, his foot could be in the boot. Again, I think this is maybe a little extreme, but it gives you an idea that this is not just a normal boot. There's something else going on in there. Now, before I get to the clip from the PBD podcast, I just want to say, look.
How do you even... Well, first of all, like, is that even, like, possible? How would you walk in this, okay? Like, I don't understand. Especially, like, this is a bit of a tangent, but relevant. Like, I don't understand how women, like, walk in these like, very steep heels, okay? It just doesn't make any sense.
If you want to wear... If you're a guy and you want to wear heels or you want to make yourself taller, okay, good. Go ahead. Who cares? the difference here is that he is clearly trying to hide what his actual height is. And he's, not in
With training from the PR team, true. What is? Oh, we'll see if we have time for this.
So my wife got me this
whoa.
weird.
embracing gender fluidity. Like he's very
It's a
anti
song?
that. So to
Got it.
be very anti that while trying to, dabble a little bit in maybe some of the clothing, it's worth calling out. So let me get to the video here, and then I'll get to a little bit more.
Are you the type of person, like I have people around me that love to say, hey, Pat, you got something between your teeth. These are the annoying people in your life, right? Hey, Pat, pull your zipper up. Hey, Pat, do this. Hey, pull one of your socks is lower than the other one. I'm sure your marketing team points out how they're trying to troll you in the marketplace. Okay, I'm sure they're doing that. Can you bring this one clip? I know you were on, what do you call it? On, what was it? Bill Maher, and Bill Maher talked about the boots. I've seen you walk with these boots. Go ahead and play this clip. This on TikTok went viral. It doesn't have 1 million views. It doesn't have, 10 million views. This thing's got 1.2 million likes. And some people are wondering.
Oh my God. That's embarrassing. Yep. Bootgate is bigger than DeSantis. There's real bias against shorter people at work. Well, specifically with like the presidency, yeah, that's like a thing for some weird reason. For some reason, like especially in politics, that's a thing. But again, I'm just to be clear, okay? I'm very short, okay? I'm tiny, okay? So yeah, this is all just this is just me essentially having a laugh at Ron DeSantis's expense. Just to be clear.
What are they? I don't even. I haven't seen that.
They've not shown this to you. Okay,
No.
what they're trying to say with this is that in your boots you have heels.
No.
That's
Yeah,
what they're trying to say.
those are just standard off the rack Lucchese.
How tall are you? How tall are you, Governor? How tall?
5'11".
5'11". Okay. Why don't you wear tennis shoes and dress shoes?
I do wear tennis shoes when I work out. Yeah.
Okay, I got a gift for you. I'd love for you to wear. Okay.
Oh my God, are we really doing like the are we going the distance here? Are we really doing the distance here where we're gonna make him prove that live? I'm sorry, but one president spent his whole life in a chair, so like, yeah, it's a thing. I know it's really weird. It's a thing. It makes no sense. It's very superficial, but it like for some reason, like the majority of presidential candidates and presidents, have always like been historically pretty dang tall. That's just like a trend that's always happened. So like, yeah, it hasn't been broken yet. I was gonna share this. Ha! Welcome, Echo Rested Dragon. Small minds. Yeah, FDR radiated pure chat energy. True. And he was 6'2" before polio nerfed him. Yeah, that's true.
I shop at Ferragamo. Okay. And
I think Anna Kasparian was on this podcast. Yes, she was. Where again, she decided that she needed to be the center of attention, yada yada yada. Okay, anyways. Yeah, the fascist.
I don't accept gifts. I can't accept it.
I totally get it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Oh my God. When it came time to put his feet where his mouth are? I don't know. Okay, bad analogy. Bad use of the phrase, okay? Bad use of the phrase.
Oh my God, that is embarrassing.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's an issue that's been studied in DAS 2020 report, and the journal PLS looked at data from thousands of Chinese adults and found that 1 additional centimeter is associated with a 1.30% increase in annual income. Whereas Salon noted that means a 5'6" person making 50,000 would earn an additional 2,000 for each extra inch of height. Maybe? Question mark? It depends. It depends, because like what are the jobs, right? Because like there are scenarios where I make more than somebody who's much bigger than I am. I don't know. Maybe it's an average. I don't know. Maybe it's an average. The point being is that, yeah, like generally, historically, people who are tall have a advantage when it comes to politics. Anna Kasparian from TRT was on that podcast. The Stars was watching it yesterday. Yeah, she was. How long would it take for leg lengthening surgery to pay off? Oh, no. No. Tall men also die sooner. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I guess I have a long advantage on that case. Other studies have shown that being taller increases the chances of promotion at work or positively influence perception of leadership capabilities. I think that's where they get. The whole like taller people generally tend to do better in politics or whatever. Anyways.
So I'll have the follow-up here. There's not much else to it, but why don't you wear dress shoes and tennis shoes? Look, he answered where he wears tennis shoes when he's working out. He didn't say why he doesn't wear dress shoes. We're not stupid. Obviously, Ron DeSantis is trying to appear taller than he actually is. I'll get to, again, what his actual height may be near the end of this video, but I do want to show you, before I get to the last clip here, just how important this issue is to becoming president for whatever reason. So we can speculate as to why, as I'll get to. This article speculates as to why, but as The Economist writes here, in politics, height matters.
Yeah,
so
this
American
is
voters are influenced by candidates' stature. So you can see,
yeah, like for some reason, like it does, especially in politics, like particularly in politics. At least in this context, anyways.
Over the years, the height of most presidents, and it is, in most cases, well above the average height of, in this case, Army servicemen. So I guess that's an easy way to get kind of the standard in terms of male height. So it's beneficial to be taller than your average person. So as they write here, a paper published in 2013 by psychologists at the University of Groningen in the Netherlands analyzed the results of American presidential elections dating back to 1789. They found that taller candidates received more votes than shorter ones, roughly 2/3 of the time. And the taller the candidate relative to their opponents, the greater the average margin of victory. Among presidents who have sought a second term, winners have been 2 inches taller on average than losers. The authors conclude that height may explain as much as 15% of the...
That's wild. Okay, and also, like, here's a question: like, how much is actually like? Can we parse that out? Because like it could just be the candidate themselves. But yeah, I mean, like, if they were able to extrapolate that about 15% of variation has to do with height, I don't know how you would parse that out, but that's wild. If he's shorter than Nimrod, it's Jover. Shaq should be in politics. No.
Variation in election outcomes.
Maybe. I don't know what his politics are, I'm going to be honest.
So they go on to show another graph here discussing the ratio of president's votes to those of closest rival. And they go on to speculate here. Taller people enjoy higher self-esteem on average and are perceived to be healthier, more intelligent, and more authoritative. So it's important to note here, perceived to be. That doesn't mean they are, but perception when it comes to who you're going to vote for means a whole hell of a lot. So they write here, this may help to account for their advantage at the polls. So this is part of the reason why Ron DeSantis would be wearing heels within his boots. Let me get to the last part of that clip where Ron DeSantis kind of defends himself here, but check this out.
Where do you fare? I know.
No, but here's the thing. I mean, I think with just how politics works is, Yogi Berra, when he was in the Yankees, they said,
How tall is Vermin Supreme? I don't know. That's odd. I feel like most authoritarian leaders are under 6, historically speaking. So is this a symptom of democracy? Maybe. Okay. Maybe there's a reason why short people shouldn't be allowed in politics, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Yogi, he doesn't look like a Yankee. He doesn't do this.
Yeah.
And Yogi's basically like, okay, if you say I'm ugly, that's fine, but you don't hit a baseball with your face. And so what we're doing is, really, I think, doing the issues, the leadership, people that are poking at you for different things. That's fine, but ultimately that is not. I think it's a sign of strength. I think if they could say he was a horrible governor, he was this, he was that.
This is so disingenuous. This is the first time I've done a video on Ron DeSantis' height, and I'm doing it because it's a moment of levity in really dark times right now in the world. This, of course, is not an important issue at all. But it goes to how fake Ron DeSantis is. People aren't poking at him because he's short. They're poking at him because he's pretending to be taller than he actually is.
That's a good point.
Going to him being fake.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of real reasons as to why no one should want anything to do with Ron DeSantis. Given Florida, okay. But yeah, I guess that's one way of seeing it. It's just to add to this idea of just how fake this guy is.
There has been this idea that, oh, they can't attack me on anything else. I'm a great governor. They can't. There are countless reasons.
Yeah, they can't attack me because they have no arguments except ad hominems. Nah, no, my dude, no. Florida's not doing great. It's not doing great, and there are some serious criticisms in terms of the actual issues, how anti-democratic he is. There's the problem, the Nazi problem that he seems to continuously attract Nazis, has had Nazis in his campaign. I mean, until this day, I don't know. I have not heard him denounce the Nazis that were parading in his honor. I mean, okay, I'm just saying. So the point being is that not only are his policies horrible, he is horrible. The people around him are horrible. I mean, he's the governor who signed that anti-abortion law. In Florida, the whole "don't say gay" thing. I mean, there's countless of legislation that he has passed that is pretty troubling.
To criticize Ron DeSantis, as I have done in many other videos. One example is just the insane cost of living. The cost of living in Florida has gone up higher than in any other state since Ron DeSantis took over the state. And that goes to inflation. Florida is America's inflation hotspot. It's double there than anywhere else. So the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach area has the highest inflation.
Yeah, I could see that. As someone who used to live there, yeah, that checks. Okay, that tracks. That tracks.
Rate of metro areas with more than 2.5 million residents, with a 9% inflation rate for 12 months, ending in April. That's more than double the national.
And all these clowns, decide that they're just gonna unilaterally blame Joe Biden. Listen, there's a lot of stuff that you can blame Joe Biden for, but this ain't it. This is not one of them. Not entirely, anyways.
Average of 4%. Florida, the least affordable place to live in the U.S.
Yeah, I agree.
And again, that's since DeSantis took over. You also have Florida taxpayers picking up the bill for Ron DeSantis' culture war lawsuits. So this is from The Guardian here, writing governor's Disney battle and extremist
Yeah, that tracks.
policies are met with costly lawsuits covered by blank check from Republican legislature. So Ron DeSantis is a terrible governor. This discussion about him faking his height just goes to how fake the entire man is. Now, here's what his height may actually be. Benjamin Ryan here, he's a health and science writer, I believe, a health and science reporter for New York Times, NBC News, Guardian, and other places, writes here, my friend who went to law school with Ron DeSantis responded to my query about his height, quote, definitely under what I thought of as normal, maybe 5'7" or 5'8". So Ron DeSantis, he's not 5'11".
I mean, okay. Like, how big are those heels that would make him from like let's say 5'8" to 5'11"? That's 3 inches. I that seems pretty noticeable to me.
He's much shorter. Now, it's important to be clear here. It's okay to be short. I was incredibly short when I was compared to other kids in elementary school, in the early years of high school. I know what it's like to be short, especially at that age. It's not fun. But pretending you are taller than you actually are is much worse than just being who you are. It's fine to be short. I have many short friends. There's nothing wrong with being short. It's being fake that's the problem. His height isn't the problem. It's him being fake that's the problem. And this, I think, also speaks to how terrible he's doing in polling. You have here...
Yeah, I mean, if he's only doing this because he knows that it benefits him politically to appear taller, whether or not he is. I have many short friends. Many people are saying Debate Brub, who has been banned in several channels, phenomenal stuff, including the Majority Report, which I mod for. I wonder what you did to get banned from there. Mouselander, how's it going?
DeSantis still, I mean, I guess you could say to his credit, still hanging in there in second place, but it's second place at, what is it now? 13.9% to Trump still sitting at 57.1. And as I've discussed in previous videos, since DeSantis officially announced his run for president, he's only lost support. He was actually much more popular when people didn't know if he was going to announce or not. So the more people have seen of Ron DeSantis, the more they realize how fake this man is.
True.
And him faking his height is just one piece of that.
How do you get banned from the Majority Report? No, I guarantee you that I'm not the only mod there. That's why I was asking. Because I said free Palestine from Hamas. I doubt... I doubt that that's the only reason. But okay. Debate Brub. We'll see. I wish we had data on the average height of Congress. That'd be interesting. I mean, like, does it really make a difference in Congress as much as it does in the presidency? I have no idea. I say it all the time, I'm not banned. Yeah, I have a feeling that's not the only reason.
Your typical style.
I'm just Googling random congressmen and they're all above 6. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Listen, thanks for doing this interview. I know it's not your typical style.
Absolutely.
Have you ever met a gay person before?
I deal better with regular people.
And we're live in 3, 2...
We are back, and joining me now is the worst thing to happen to Disney since the It's a Small World ride, and the most boring, Governor Ron DeSantis.
Welcome to the free state of Florida.
Okay, let's cut this shit. Governor, you go by so many nicknames. Which do you prefer I call you? Ron DeSanctimonious? Meatball Ron? Dull as dishwater DeSantis? Trump Light? Little Ronnie Pudding Fingers? Ronald McDoofus? I can continue.
You can call me whatever you want. I mean, just as long as you also call me a winner.
Girl, no. You have become quite a star, my friend, using your evil to turn back time and make your state an unsafe place for so many.
Gay people aren't regular. Well, he doesn't see them as regular people. Someone like him doesn't.
That's just what I do.
Well, I guess my question is, are you ready to do it on a national scale?
Absolutely.
Do you have what it takes, Governor, to snatch Donald Trump's $5 weave and steal the MAGA base?
I think the country wants a change. I think they want a fresh start in a new direction.
Ron DeSantis, has fame gone to your head and made you wacky? Fresh and new is yesterday's vibe. Who needs cultural advancement, diversity, compassion, or Trixie Mattel? This country's in a slow-burning Uber X headed right back to the dark ages. And baby, you're just the heartless autocratic wannabe to drive us there.
Hey MAGA, y'all take note. He's the Trump alternative who wants your vote. Hey Donald,
Hairspray?
get in line. There's a fresh new fascist trying to steal your shine. So let's go make liberal unlawful. Bid all drag shows and freedoms farewell. Say hello to a new kind of awful. Hey it's time to drag this country straight to hell. Hey MAGA, welcome to DeSantis. Welcome to DeSantis. Go, Ronnie, Hey, USA, get a load of him. This could be your future, and it's awfully grim. Here comes our hero of the culture war. And he's got his eye on 2024. Sorry, Joe, take a token, start drinking. Look out for the most boring new right-wing creep. Cause he's over that woke forward thinking. So he's come to put the country back to sleep. And I go, welcome to DeSantis.
The Ronettes. All right, how old is this? 5 months ago?
Brace yourself for major small dick energy, cause it's time for a tyrant like Ronnie D. Hide your wife and children when DeSantis runs, cause our lives are secondary to their goddamn guns. Let's go retrogress to 1953, last call for all your bodily autonomy. Sit back, relax, and listen to him spit and spew his conservative view. The race be the base, which is all they do. Hey Ronnie, full of hate. You're the Chevy Stalin of the Sunshine State. Nobody likes you cause you're harsh and mean. Even Mickey Mouse is like, girl, this queen. But say no immigration. Put an end to those pesky old human rights. Cause we know that he'll fight for our nation till at last it's safe for wealthy Christian whites. Finally, hey MAGA, welcome to DeSantis.
Never ever surrender to the woke mob.
To the woke mob.
I have fought the good fight.
Oh, mama.
Okay, bring it on.
Girl.
That's funny. Conscious Canuck, welcome. Yeah, 5 months ago his poll numbers weren't so catastrophic. Yeah, he's not doing good. He's not doing great, which is good. Which is good for everybody involved. Speaking of which, it appears that Mike Pence has dropped out of the race officially. So one has already bit the dust. Maybe after the first primary, more will drop out because it's apparent that nobody, with the exception of Donald Trump, is going to win. In the internet's least surprising move, and Trump is on trial. Yep. Speaking of which,
so on Sunday evening, Judge Tanya Chutkan actually reimposed the gag order on Donald Trump after she had just a couple weeks ago put a temporary stay on it, meaning that the gag order was lifted pending Donald Trump's appeal of it. Well, the DOJ, Special Prosecutor Jack Smith, had of course filed a motion with Judge Chutkan saying, Judge, you got to leave it in place. Even as he appeals it, he's going off the rails. He's attacking witnesses. He's attacking you. He's attacking me. But you got to put the gag order back in place because he went totally nuts when you took it off. So the judge listened to that argument, listened to the argument from Trump's lawyers, and on Sunday evening said, you know what? Yeah, Smith is right. Gag order's back in place, buddy boy. She didn't say it like that. Should have, but she didn't. She kept it a little more professional than I do. So, of course, immediately following this decision from the judge, Donald Trump gets on Truth Social and, as per usual, has a complete and total meltdown because this man has no idea how to control his emotions. Here is what Donald Trump had to say.
and somehow he is still not in jail. Tim Scott qualified for the next debate, though. Finally qualified. He didn't qualify for the first one or the other two. Trump got the hump.
The corrupt Biden administration just took away my First Amendment right to free speech.
No. What? The corrupt Biden administration? What are you talking about? A judge issuing a gag order is not a violation of the First Amendment, and also this has nothing to do with the Biden administration. What are you on about?
Not constitutional. Make America great again. So there's more, but let's talk about that for just a second. Again, President Biden has nothing to do with this. Do you think President Biden called Judge Chutkan and said, "Hey, Judge, can you put this back in place here?" I don't know. I can't do a Biden impression. I'm sorry. Like, that didn't happen. President Biden was not involved in any way in this decision. Second of all, you always got to throw in like your campaign slogan, even when it's totally not related to anything, like "not constitutional, make America great again."
MAGA. I did nothing wrong and they indicted me.
Like, just stop with that altogether. We don't even need that. It kind of shows that you're not exactly serious about this. You're just trying to get your people riled up. But he did continue. I have just learned that the very biased Trump-hating judge in D.C., who should have recused herself due to her blatant and open loathing of your favorite president, me.
Oh my God. Oh, man. I can't believe that this is a real post. This is a real post from the former president of the United States. Blatant and open loathing of your favorite president, me. What? Okay, so first of all, like, this in and of itself, wouldn't this violate the freaking gag order? Wouldn't this in and of itself violate the gag order? They handle him with kitty gloves? Yeah, they do. They really do. This guy, you know... Okay. Can we get people to actually read the Constitution? Yeah, and hopefully, you know, the president... You would hope that the president or former president knows. But here we are. Guy can't keep his mouth shut. Seems like a bad mobster trait. Yeah, and somehow he's not in jail. Somehow. Okay? Somehow he's still truthing away, I guess.
Reimposed a gag order, which will put me at a disadvantage against my prosecutorial and political opponents. This order, according to many legal scholars, is...
This has nothing to do. How can a gag order put you at a disadvantage against like a prosecution, right? This has nothing to do with your defense. Your defense is supposed to be concentrating on arguments to get you off of whatever charges you're being accused of. You not being able to talk about certain aspects of the case or about certain people that are involved in the case has absolutely no bearing on your defense. Trump can't read? True. Hold on there. I don't be coming here with your fancy words and stuff. True.
Is unthinkable. It illegally and unconstitutionally takes away my First Amendment right of free speech in the middle of my campaign for president, where I am leading against both parties in the polls. Few can believe this is happening, but I will appeal. How can they tell the leading candidate that he, and only he, is seriously restricted from campaigning in a free and open manner? It will not stand.
Nobody's restricting your campaign in any way, shape, or form. You just can't talk about certain aspects of a case that you are currently involved in, dude. If you want to campaign, you are absolutely able to campaign in whatever manner you feel. You just can't talk about certain aspects and certain people, witnesses, whatever the gag order entailed, I should say. That's it. That's literally it. And furthermore, what about not being able to talk about the case makes any bearing on your campaign? You should be campaigning on whatever platform you have, like, issues. What are you going to do to better this country? Instead, you're crying that you can't campaign because your campaign is going to be based on attacking the judge or witnesses or court clerks, whatever it is. Then why should anybody vote for you if that's the basis of your campaign? This isn't about the issues, then, is effectively what Trump is saying. This isn't about the issues. This is about one giant soap opera, where he is the main character and is being persecuted. But I'm rich and you're not. True.
And except it will, because this is not a constitutional violation. In fact, judges have the ability to restrict what individuals can say about ongoing cases. That's actually the law. And if you continue to engage in things like, I don't know, witness intimidation by attacking them relentlessly on social media, the judge has every legal right to tell you legally you can't do this. And for the record, none of this is actually hurting your ability to campaign. You've still been going out and doing rallies even while you had the gag order in place before it was suspended and then put back. You were still doing rallies. You're still raising money. You're still beating those other idiots that are also running on the right. So, yeah, you can still do those things. So falsely claiming that you can't is actually not going to bode well for you in your appeal, because you're lying. And those lies, as you've learned with a lot of the cases currently ongoing, always come back to bite you. So does the fact that immediately after these posts on social media, you then went and attacked a witness, Bill Barr.
Jesus.
So that's not going to work out well for you upon appeal, but it is what it is. Chutkan, by temporarily doing away with the gag order, had effectively set a trap for Donald Trump. And it was a trap that this dumbass fell right into head first. And he's not going to win this appeal. Like, that much to me is obvious.
Again, why is this guy not in jail? That's the biggest that's the biggest question for me. Why is this guy not in jail?
It's not a violation of his rights. It's not hurting his campaign in any way. It's preventing him from trying to circumvent the justice system by tainting the jury pool and intimidating witnesses. And that, when the judge put it in place for the second time, is completely legal and within her rights to do that.
Lock him up. But true thing about case-related things can affect your ability to campaign. Yeah, by making it more and more likely that you end up in jail. Hello, sir, President Putin. They protect their own, I guess? What do you mean, like rich people? Sorry, you're gonna have to elaborate on that one. Alright, folks. House Democrat Dean Phillips launches primary challenge against Biden. Okay. Alright, I mean, like, listen. You know, if you want to launch a presidential campaign, this makes no sense, okay? This literally makes no sense. Minnesota Representative Dean Phillips formally launched his campaign Friday and filed to run in New Hampshire's Democratic Party, kicking off his long-shot challenge to President Biden. Surrounded by a small crowd of supporters, staff, and curious bystanders outside the New Hampshire State House in Concord, Phillips reiterated his call for a new generation of Democratic leaders. I'm running for the Democratic nomination for President of the United States because, my friends, it's time for a change, the third-term congressman said, and I am ready to lead our great nation to a secure and more prosperous future. In an early interview in Concord aboard his campaign bus, Phillips said he felt compelled to challenge Biden, who he called a terrific president, over his concerns that the incumbent would lose a general election rematch against former President Trump. Okay, but like, who are you? Okay, like, if the argument is that you think that Biden would lose a general election, what's the argument that you wouldn't either? So, okay. Listen, fam, I'm gonna be real. There is, oh god, it really kind of does look like DeSantis a little bit, tiny bit, just a little bit. Anyways, I'm gonna be honest with you. There is a possibility that Biden loses the general election. That is a possibility, and I don't dispute that possibility. But what makes you think that you're going to win a general election? The congressman said he tried to encourage. Like, did this guy and Cenk Uygur have a conversation? Because that's literally the same thing. That's literally the same thing that Cenk Uygur said. That's literally his argument. In fact, he claims that he only jumped in the race because nobody else would challenge. Like, nobody else is running that could beat Biden. To force him out. I mean, okay. I'm definitely not against an actual Democratic primary. Neither am I. Neither am I. Neither am I. I'm just saying that, like, this isn't gonna go anywhere. And, like, it's interesting how Cenk Uygur made this whole entire PR stunt based on this same argument. And now this guy's doing it. Quote, "This is not about me," he told CNN, but my inability to attract other candidates to inspire the president to recognize that it is, my inability to attract other candidates. OmniTube on YouTube. I guess Cenk has a fan. Yeah, it's literally the same argument. Welcome. It compels me to serve my country because it appears that President Biden is going to lose the next election. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. For months, Phillips, who recently left his House Democratic leadership position in the face of inter-party frustration over calls for a Biden alternative, he has argued that the president would be a weak general election candidate due to his age and low approval ratings. But his campaign launch comes as Democrats are seeking to unify around Biden, fend off spoiler independent candidates, and lay out the administration's accomplishments to voters. Biden allies have described talks of Phillips running as a distraction that would only serve to highlight the president's weak points. Then maybe the president should, I don't know, shore up his weak points. I don't know, man. Cenk wasn't born here, true. True. Phillips and his team has insisted they plan to mount a serious challenge to Biden that will go beyond New Hampshire. Speaking to reporters on Friday in Concord, Phillips said that he would be foolish. Phillips said that it would be foolish to run just to raise his national profile. Would it though? Because wouldn't it be actually politically strategic to run? If you're just gonna run for the sake of running and raise your national profile for potentially like the next election, politically speaking, that makes sense. So like, I don't know if that's foolish. I don't think that's foolish. Nah, never criticize anything that's true patriotism. True. Disinformation police, welcome. Thank you for the follow. If someone wanted to get their name ID out there, why would they do this and take the arrows and mean-spiritedness and the aggression and sacrifice that this requires? Because you could raise your national profile that maybe you don't win, maybe you don't have a single shot at winning, but at least now people know who you are. RFK, yeah, he's running, but RFK is running as an independent. RFK is running as an independent now, so that may end up being beneficial. But who knows? Though not, thinking ahead, though not doing anything for the present. True. Because all attention is good attention in the attention economy. Yes. Steve Schmidt, a former Republican operative who's now advising who's now advising Phillips' campaign, told reporters on Friday that the congressman plans to hold more than 119 town halls in the early voting Democratic primary states of New Hampshire, South Carolina, and Michigan. If you want to be the Democratic nominee, the first thing you have to do is win the first race. Yeah, but no, not necessarily. Schmidt said Friday. Schmidt, who left the GOP in 2018, previously worked on the presidential campaigns of former President Bush and late Senator McCain. Phillips has also began challenging Biden on policy issues, said during the announcement speech that rising costs have left an undue burden on Americans, and argued that foreign aid packages supported by the Biden administration for Ukraine and Israel should be redirected to solve domestic issues. Earlier in the day, he praised Trump for his ability to turn out voters who feel alienated. Yeah, I mean, okay. I'm just going to keep thinking Dean McCain. Earlier in the day, he praised Trump for his ability to turn out voters who feel alienated, and he said his plans to make immigration a sore spot for the Biden administration a key focus of his campaign. Yeah. That's going to be a no from me. No. Okay, listen, if your like immediate thought process is like, wow, Trump did a phenomenal job to turn out voters who feel alienated, but like not mention the fact how it was all bullshit. Like he said the things, but that's it. At the very least, it felt like the people who voted for Trump the first time may have done so because the establishment for years and years on end have done just about F all to help anybody, and they felt for some weird, strange reason that a oligarch who I guess said the things that they needed to hear told them, and that's how that happened. Well, it's part of what happened. If he accepted Steve Schmidt as an advisor, makes him believe he's more one of the Ken Copeland's house pawns. Yeah, there's red flags. Red flags. Having been to the southern border twice, it's not secure. It is inhumane. Oh, no. It's not fair to those who are seeking refuge. It's not fair to our Border Patrol agents who have shown extraordinary mercy and humanity in ways that I wish more Americans saw, and they've been demeaned by Democrats. True. This is a thing that definitely has happened. Okay. Hey, hey Siri, Google how many deportations have been done under Biden. Yeah. Already, Phillips' campaign strategy is causing headaches for the party. Biden will not file to appear in the New Hampshire Democratic ballot because the state isn't complying with the National Party's revised nominating calendar, which demoted its first-in-the-nation primary status to second. Instead, Democrats will launch a write-in campaign for the president. Okay, with Phillips entry, this is, oh my God, if this is some kind of like, this is like Hillary Clinton levels of strategic blunders. Anyways, why do leftists always type in lowercase? Because they hate capitalism. I'll give you an 8 out of 10 for that joke. I'll give you an 8 out of 10 because it's capitalization. But 8 out of 10, okay? An 8 out of 10, and I'll give you a solid A for effort, okay? I'll give you a solid A for effort. With Phillips entry, where I was going with that tangent, this is some Hillary Clinton level of strategic blunder, okay? On the Biden campaign, on the Biden part in terms of the primary, but whatever. With Phillips' entry into the race, that effort will become much more important to New Hampshire Democrats who want to spare Biden an embarrassing early primary defeat. Phillips has already reserved $50,000 in ad time in the state this week, according to data from Ad Impact. Phillips' initial campaign highlights his laser focus on the New Hampshire primary. In the minute-long video, he describes summer visits to the state he made as a child and champions its long tradition of expecting presidential candidates to engage in retail politics, sometimes something that Biden won't be doing. I love New Hampshire, he says. That's why I'm back as a candidate for president. In the place where we begin, where presidential candidates stand before you, the voters, and walk through the snow and listen to your dreams, hear your concerns, and most of all, do absolutely nothing about any of them. And most of all, discuss how we're going to work together to move towards the future. Outside New Hampshire, Phillips would face an even steeper road. While he used his personal wealth, which is tens of millions, according to his most recent financial disclosure, to help get the ball rolling, on his campaign, Schmidt said that Phillips will not self-fund his bid and plans to rely on small dollar donors. Phillips is among the first to admit that he lacks the name recognition of other Democrats seen as future presidential contenders, such as Governor Newsom or Governor Whitmer. When's the last time we had a congressman become president? That's a good question. I have no idea. I'll be honest. The decision to focus on the New Hampshire after the Democratic National Campaign Committee sought to elevate South Carolina to go first on the primary calendar could hurt him in the Palmetto State's February 3rd contest. South Carolina is an important testing ground for presidential candidates, and so far Dean Phillips is failing it. Said South Carolina Democratic Party Chair Christelle Spain said in a statement, South Carolina could not be more excited to once again back President Biden as their nominee. Phillips said that he's looking forward to visiting South Carolina, adding that he was disappointed Democrats would suggest that it's somehow shameful to campaign in New Hampshire. James Garfield was the last person? Jeez. When was he president? Whoa. He was the first and last. He wasn't just a congressman, but 1881. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, you did. You got it. Until recently, Phil, well, hold on, folks. That's unfortunate, and I think that's an actual symptom of the disease of politics that I hope that I can be the antidote for. Until recently, Phillips was known as a mild-mannered moderate, one of dozens who helped Democrats take control of the House in 2018. The heir to Minnesota liquor business and grandson of Abigail Van Buren, the latest advice column known as Dear Abby, Phillips' first campaign focused on defending the Affordable Care Act and fixing government dysfunction. I choose a 100-year span, so the odds were ever in my favor. Yeah, I mean, you nailed it, though. Okay. And over the past year, he's been one of the most prominent members of his party to call on Biden not to seek re-election, warning that the party needs a new generation of leaders to step forward. The stance that has cost him support. That stance has cost him support within his own party. Phillips announced earlier that this month that he was stepping down as co-chair of the House Democratic Policy and Communications Committee, which handles the caucus messaging after being called out during a closed-door caucus meeting for being out of step with the party's stance on Biden's re-election bid. Like, I actually don't agree. Yeah, Van Buren. I actually don't agree with that. I think that's kind of messed up. And it goes to show, like, just, the problems within the Democratic Party. Because, fundamentally, like, I actually don't disagree with the idea or with the concept that we need somebody different. Just to be clear, like, I don't fundamentally disagree with that concept that we need somebody different. That clearly this ain't working. But yeah, Garfield is in office for 22 years. Phillips has been in for 6. Yes, he has 2 terms, right? I believe. Phillips attempted to reach out to Biden in August, but the president was unavailable, according to a source. Instead, Phillips spoke to White House Chief of Staff, Jeff Zients, who heard him out. The source said, but conveyed that the president is the right person to win 2024 and finish the job. Phillips told CNN that he tried to reach out to Biden. Yeah, but again, even before this, Biden himself said that he was just going to be an interim president. So, like, this doesn't make any sense. Wouldn't be a relation to Martin Van Buren by any chance? No idea. Phillips told CNN that he tried to reach out to Biden as courtesy to advise him of my intentions, which at the time were to call for a new generation of candidates to compete for the nomination. He said his call with Zients was brief but friendly. In a statement Friday, the Biden campaign touted the historic and unified support for the president's re-election effort within the party. The stakes of next year's election could not be higher. Listen, I get it, but, like, come on, man. Like, come on. Say the line, folks. Say the line. The stakes of next year's election could not be higher for the American people, and the campaign is hard at work at mobilizing the winning coalition that President Biden can uniquely bring together to once again beat MAGA Republicans next November. Back home, the reception has been icy in a Biden campaign fundraising email sent Friday. Democratic Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota wrote that sometimes people in his state do crazy things like make political sideshows for themselves. Jesus. Another thing is true of Minnesota. We love Joe Biden, working day in and day out to get him reelected. Phillips has also drawn a primary challenger for the suburban Twin Cities seat in the DNC Executive Committee member Ron Harris. Phillips has until June 4th to register to run for re-election in Minnesota ahead of the state's August 13 primary for non-presidential races. Cosmopolitics, welcome. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate that. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Folks, if you don't know who I am, I am a Difficult Truth. I do the news, I do the politics. I'm here Monday through Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much, folks. And if you do have a second, please take a second to go follow and support twitch.tv/cosmopolitics. Phenomenal stuff. Thank you. I appreciate that. And go follow them on Twitter as well. Welcome, everybody. If you do happen to enjoy your stay, make sure you hit the follow button, all right? It really does help us out. Apparently, it's just a pen name. Got it. Downton Abbey. I caught that reference. This is why he thinks he can be president. Committee of Foreign Affairs, Subcommittee of the Middle East, North Africa, Central Asia, ranking member, Committee on Small Business, Subcommittee on Economic Growth, Tax and Capital Access, Subcommittee on Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Workforce Development. Got it. Abby in regular life. Gotcha. Okay, so it makes perfect sense. I love that show. It was a good show. I think we watched every single episode of it. I'm pretty sure we did. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Also, folks, just to give you a short summary of what's happening. Basically, Dean Phillips is running for president, ? I guess. That's basically it. Did you see the movie? There's a Downton Abbey movie. Hold on. Oh, what? I didn't see this. I did not see this at all. Well, I might have to check this out. 1 second, folks. At Christmas? Yeah, okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. I think it's on Prime, which you have. Well, I'm alerting Mrs. Truth that this is a thing. I was not aware. All right. After the Phillips has also drawn primary challenger. Okay, yeah, we went through this. After leaving leadership, Phillips said he felt liberated and able to speak more freely for months. He said that while he thinks Biden's a great president, polling shows that voters are concerned about his age and have given him low job approval ratings. Yeah, but like, again, what makes you think that you're going to win the general election? I don't know how one can dismiss what we're hearing and what we're seeing, what we're sensing, and what we're reading, and it all points to the same thing. If Democrats do not listen right now, I'm afraid the consequences will be another Trump administration. This I don't disagree with. Again, fundamentally, I don't disagree with the idea and the concept that we need different people running. The Democratic Party is going to is in danger of losing the election. This is not novel, but it seems like the warning signs aren't being heeded, and it is a possibility that that a Biden candidacy will lose. It's a possibility. Not saying it's a high possibility even, but it's definitely a possibility. Enough that a lot of polls have currently at this time Trump and Biden next. So I don't know. In September, CNN polled 2/3 of Democrats that they wanted the party to nominate somebody else for Biden, but 67% of Democrats also said that they believed it's extremely, very or extremely likely that Biden will be the party's nominee, and 82% said they didn't have a specific challenger to the president in mind. Nearly half of Democrats cited Biden's age as their biggest concern. After Biden announced in April that he would seek re-election, Phillips called on other Democratic leaders to launch a primary challenge and hinted that he may run himself. In July, he met with donors in New York to discuss a plausible bid. The MAGA will cheat even harder this time. I mean, like, they all they have to do is basically they have to, like, this is all this is all like rolling the dice on whether or not the Democratic Party can do the same performance that they did in the 2020 election. The problem is, it was a whole different ball game. I don't know if you're going to be able to I just don't know if we're going to be able to see the same motivation the same motivation to get people excited about another Biden candidacy, another Biden presidency, right? Definitely too close to being controlled by a fascist for comfort. Agreed. The problem is the DNC supports a gerontological model of leadership. Means we're effed, yeah. Seniority is rewarded. Yeah, I see that. Biden, who raised $71 million for his reelection in the Democratic Party in the third fundraising quarter of 2023, is the overwhelming favorite of the party nomination. In February, the DNC membership unanimously approved the resolution to express its full and complete support for Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and their reelection in 2024. Incumbents historically have not participated in primary debates, and the cycle is no different. There are none on the books. There's left little room for challenge. Author Marianne Williamson, another long-shot Democratic candidate, has failed to make a dent in the polls since she launched her campaign in March. Environmental lawyer and vaccine critic? Really? Okay, that's what we're gonna... Okay, whatever. That's what we're gonna go with? Okay. Has just left the Democratic primary later this month to run as independent, raising concerns that he would pull votes from Biden to help Republicans. I don't think so. I don't think so. In fact, it's the opposite. In the way I understand things, it's the opposite. RFK Jr. moving to an independent is probably for the best. But Biden's old and looking older and slower. I bet most Americans don't think he'd make it through a second term. Yeah, true. In Congress, Phillips has consistently voted with the president and hasn't criticized his policy positions, a point the White House has made. We appreciate the congressman's almost 100% support of this president, and he's moved forward with some really important key legislative priorities of the American people. So, like, if you're essentially not going to be any different than Biden, you're effectively not going to be any different than Biden, except your national profile isn't really that high. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, not a lot of people know who this guy is. How do you expect to win the general election if your argument is that Biden is going to lose the general election? Biden's candidacy is going to cost the Democrats to lose the 2024 election. I'm scared it's a little too late for to correct course. If only Kamala wasn't the black hole in the polls. Yeah, there's no way. Like, if they put her instead of Biden, it's actually Jover. So yeah, I don't know. Considering RFK sucks up mostly Trump supporters, it's for the best. Yeah, I think so. I think so. So we have Mike Pence leaving the Republican primary, and we have Dean Phillips entering the Democratic primary. He might end up replacing Kamala. This guy, I mean, maybe. I don't think they'll do that. Switching gears really quickly, the Michigan Attorney General's office said today, that the state's prosecution of former Governor Rick Snyder and other officials for the Flint water scandal, remember that, has ended. Yep, that's it, folks. I guess nothing else is here to see here, folks. The decision on Tuesday by the state Supreme Court to decline to hear appeals of a lower court's dismissal of misdemeanor charges against Snyder effectively closed the door on criminal prosecution of the government officials. At this time, the court has left us with no option but to consider Flint water prosecutions closed. The Michigan Supreme Court in September rejected a last-chance effort by prosecutors to revive the criminal charges. The Attorney General's office used an uncommon tool, a one-judge grand jury, to hear evidence and return indictments against 9 people, including Snyder. But the Supreme Court last year said the process was unconstitutional and it struck the charges as invalid. Snyder was charged with willful neglect of duty. The indictment against him was also dismissed, though the Supreme Court did not address an appeal by prosecutors in September, only because that case was on a different timetable. The AP left a message Tuesday seeking comment from Snyder's attorney. Managers appointed by Snyder turned the Flint River into a source of Flint water in 2014, but the water wasn't treated to reduce its corrosive impact on old pipes. As a result, lead contaminated the system for 18 months. Some experts have attributed fatal Legionnaire's disease outbreaks in 2014 to 2015 to the water switch. Flint was reconnected to a regional water system in 2015 and has been compliant with lead standards for 7 years. Snyder, a Republican, acknowledged that state government botched that water switch, especially regulators who didn't require certain treatments. But his lawyers denied his conduct rose to the level of a crime. I don't know, man. In my opinion, it did. In my opinion, he poisoned the people of Flint. But that's just me. The prosecutor team. Sorry, hold on. Our disappointment in the Michigan Supreme Court is exceeded only by our sorrow for the people of Flint. The prosecution team said on Tuesday that it expects next year to release a full and thorough report detailing its efforts and decisions. Separately, the state agreed to pay $600 million as part of the $626 million settlement with residents and property owners who were harmed by the lead-tainted water. Most of the money is going to children. The supposed safe lead levels now are suspect. Jeez. Yikes. Messed up. That's messed up. And like at the end of the day, nothing happened to any of these people. Nothing. That's what's infuriating about this whole thing. Nothing ended up happening to any of these people after all this time. But they poisoned the city while they're trying to line their save the city by changing the water source without doing a full chemical study first. Right, and you know this is so corrupt and so messed up that like the manufacturing, I think like the auto companies knew about this to the point where like they had their own source that was like actual like normal water because they knew that it was going to mess up their production. I think it was a Ford. GM. Okay, so yeah, okay, it did happen. It GM, not Ford. Okay, thank you. October, Flint's General Motors truck assembly discontinued using Flint tap water because of high level chloride corroding engine parts. Yeah, yes. Okay, so I am remembering this correctly. To the point where I believe they got their own their own special water. Okay. Tastes like Legionnaire's disease. Yeah. So, just to be clear, this is what ended up happening. The water was rusting the engine blocks. The president of the UAW local 599, which represents the plant's nearly 900 workers, called in an interview last week. In December of 2014, the plant switched from Flint's tainted water system to a fresh supply from neighboring Flint Township, an option that was not afforded to other Flint residents and businesses. As a result, the plant was able to sidestep a crisis that had befallen everyone else in the city. So, like, get after everybody else. Where GM was born more than a century ago. The workaround was made possible by the factories for tourist location and some heads-up planning. The plant officials were among the first people in Flint to detect something wrong. It was in summer of 2014, many months before the problem of corroding lead pipes would morph into a public health calamity and national news maelstrom. For GM, the problem was not lead, but the elevated levels of chloride in the treated river water added some to remove some solids and contaminants that began to cause visible corrosion on parts coming out of the machining process. The 1.2 million square plant makes engines used in the Buick Enclave crossover, the Chevrolet Cruze, and the Colorado pickup truck and other vehicles. Yeah, so at the time these state's officials were saying the water was safe to drink, members began asking if it's too corrosive for an engine, what's it doing to the inside of people. Yeah. So yeah, they knew. And nobody's going to jail for this. Nobody's going to see any type of repercussions, any real repercussions. Nothing. It's just done. It's done. All right, folks, pay attention. Abortion is on the ballot. In Ohio, the results could signal what's ahead for 2024. Pay attention for anyone that's in Ohio or knows people that's in Ohio. When questions about abortion have been put directly to voters in the months... yeah, just a hint, not even a hint. When questions about abortion have been put directly to voters in the months since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, voters have overwhelmingly signaled support for abortion access. Now, abortion rights activists in Ohio are wondering if that same energy that fueled success in states like Kansas and Michigan will translate to their state this year. During a recent gathering at a cidery in Youngstown, abortion rights activists took a break from phone banking and door knocking to belt out tunes like Shania Twain's Girl Power anthem, Man, I Feel Like a Woman, with the help of a DJ, a karaoke machine, and a round of hard cider. Because this has been a long slog and everything just can't just be work, said Alexis Smith, a local radiologist and activist who helped organize the karaoke at night for activists working to pass Issue 1. So pay attention, folks. If approved, this measure would amend Ohio's constitution to guarantee the right to make reproductive health care decisions, including abortion. That's huge. That's huge. So pay attention, folks. Yes, Nina Turner. Abortion rights supporters here have been inspired by the success of their counterparts in several states last year where abortion was on the ballot. Smith says that they worked for months to get enough signatures to put their own ballot question before Ohio voters. But they soon ran into another obstacle. It was that, oh, by the way, you have a month and then there's going to be this election. It's going to decide everything. Republican lawmakers in Ohio called a special election in August and another measure also called Issue 1 that would have changed the rules and made it harder for the abortion right amendment to pass. Ohio voters turned out in larger than expected numbers to reject that effort, leaving the threshold for passing the amendment at a simple majority. The fight over the proposed reproductive rights amendment itself is now fully underway. The back-to-back votes seem to be creating confusion in the minds of some voters. Abortion rights supporters were asked to vote no on issue 1 in August and yes on issue 1 now. So yeah, these are two different things, okay? These are two different things. Issue 1 right now is the abortion thing. Issue 1 back then, which doesn't matter anymore because it passed, was to make it harder for amendments to the Constitution or ballot measures, whatever, to pass. So now this is a separate, complete different thing that Ohio's voting on. So just to be clear, and again, for folks that that are in Ohio or maybe know somebody in Ohio, please let them know. Spread the word. Let them know. Do you think that they made the same name confusing on purpose? Maybe. That may be the case. Quote, actually, I don't know anymore, said Ariane Allen, a nursing student at Ohio State University. Just trying to make sense of the ballot question after talking to an anti-abortion activist who was visiting her campus. Okay. Allen says she wants to do more research to make sure that she votes in line with her values. So I don't make a mistake because I am for abortion rights. Then you should be voting yes on issue 1. Yeah. Anti-abortion groups say they will have contacted well over 600,000 voters by election day, urging them to vote no. Meanwhile, the abortion rights group Ohioans United for Reproductive Rights estimates their canvassers will have reached more than 3 million voters. Ohioans are making this decision in a state where a strict abortion ban is waiting in the wings. The law currently blocked in court bans most abortions for about 6 weeks and contains no exception for rape or incest. It briefly took effect after the Dobbs v. Jackson decision overturned the decades of abortion rights precedent long enough for a 10-year-old rape victim to make national headlines after being forced to travel to neighboring Indiana for an abortion. So pay attention, folks, because this is where you get to make an impact, especially a direct Democratic impact. So it's gonna be a yes on issue 1 for Ohio. Pay attention, folks. Nursing student, that's right. All medical professionals should be united. You would think, it makes sense. But reality, no, that's not always the case. What happened to that 10-year-old, let's be clear, was absolutely tragic, said Amy Natachi, the press secretary for anti-abortion group Protect Women. I think everybody can agree with that, but your advocacy and your activism for the anti-abortion movement made that scenario happen. Like, you do realize that, right? These anti-abortion people, they made that scenario happen. Their activism made that situation where this 10-year-old rape victim had to go to another state to get what she needed to get done what she needed to get done. Natachi, whose organization is leading the effort to defeat issue 1, says she's grateful that the girl's rapist was caught and prosecuted, but she stops short of saying that the girl should have had access to abortion in her home state. Right. So again, like, you can't tell me that you give a shit and protect women and protect kids or whatever bullshit you're trying to peddle, and then like not say anything about what your activism had a direct impact on this. That is up to the voters and the legislation to decide, she added. If issue 1 passes, the conversation ends. Yes, absolutely. Legitimate medical services. Desiree Timms leads a progressive Ohio think tank and has been working on the Vote Yes campaign. She believes Ohio voters will follow the example set in other states last year. What Republicans, frankly, have done in this environment is they've created a window for advocates on the left to say, see, look, this is what we've been talking about. Our greatest fears, our nightmares are coming true, and this is our time to stand up and fight back. I mean, like, yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't a joke. It wasn't an exaggeration. To say like what these people are going to do was horrific. I mean that story is horrific. To read about this 10-year-old who had to essentially jump through jump through all these hoops completely unnecessarily, on top of the trauma now of being a rape victim. I mean, stories like this exemplify or are examples of the results of these people, of Republicans and conservatives advocating for the abolishment or elimination of your bodily autonomy, because that's what fundamentally this is all about, right? The results in Ohio will be closely watched as abortion rights groups work to put ballot questions before more voters next year, including in key presidential battleground states like Arizona and Florida. Honestly, anyone with a uterus is at risk in a place like this. Yeah, 100%. And like the problem is, the problem is it shouldn't have to be that way, because that's a human right, the ability to have self-determination and have bodily autonomy is and should be universal, right? Like, this isn't up for debate. And the fact that there are places and states where you don't have that is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Not good. Not great. Fundamentally, it's a way to enslave women. I mean, yes, the control aspect, it is, but yeah, it's a control aspect, right? It's all about control, because this comes from a religious, like, fundamentalist kind of deal, and well, to these people, women are property, right? Women and children are property. Let's be honest. That's it. That's it. That's where it begins and ends. Whether they want to be honest about it or not, that's just the way they see it. That's why they're so. That's why they really don't like accept these arguments, because they're like, what? Bodily autonomy, dude? What are you talking about? Well, because underneath all of this, there's some kind of religious fundamentalism that basically says women and children are property. That's what their Bronze Age, that's what their Bronze Age time of how to live, thinks it says. Yep. Control making women do anything to feed their starving children. Yeah, fundamentally, it is all about control. It is. All right, folks. Let's switch gears really quickly. One second. and making more babies for the cause. Correct. Because as our brand new speaker said, if we had no abortions and more children, then Social Security would be saved or whatever. And having a workforce you can, which also he is an extremist religious zealot. Such a thought-provoking statement. Yeah, there'd be more child poverty. Yeah, but we don't want to talk about that because then we'd have to actually ask questions as to how we're going to solve that child poverty, and we don't really want to talk about that because that makes then we have conversations about having higher social safety nets and benefits, and it's just better if we don't talk about that. Children just have to get... they do, actually. Republicans in numerous states have decided that the best course of action is to actually loosen child labor laws. Yes, absolutely. They absolutely are okay with that. All right. Last story, folks. Alabama Trump supporter indicted for allegedly threatening the Fulton County DA and sheriff. Yeah, looks like that stochastic terrorism is making its way into real life. Those consistent attacks on the prosecutor, witnesses, whatever. These posts that he continues to be allowed to do on True Social. That stochastic terrorism is manifesting itself into real life. Yeah, I agree. They should absolutely. I agree with that. All right. An Alabama man has been indicted for making alleged threats against the officials in Fulton County, Georgia, involved in that arrest and prosecution of former President Trump. A federal grand jury in Atlanta has indicted 59-year-old domestic terrorist on charges of transmitting interstate threats to injure the Fulton County District Attorney, Fannie Willis, and Fulton County Sheriff, Patrick Labatt, over their connection to the arrest and prosecution of the former president. Trump's trial over the alleged efforts to overturn the presidential election result in Georgia will take place next year. This domestic terrorist has made his first appearance in federal court in Huntsville, Alabama, and will be arraigned in Atlanta next month. Prosecutors say this domestic terrorist called the Fulton County government customer service line twice, leaving two voicemails, first for Labatt and second for Willis, saying, quote, "If you think you're going to take a mugshot of my president, remember your favorite president, me. It's going to be okay. You're going to find out after you take that mugshot some bad beep. It's going to happen to you," he said allegedly in his... I don't know why, why are we using the word allegedly in this context? Because, we're not accusing... we're not making, a absolute accusation. We're just literally reading a transcript off what somebody said. There's a recording of this, okay? But whatever. I don't know how this goes. I personally wouldn't use allegedly here. If you're literally directly quoting from a actual recording that you can pull out, I don't know. The sad part is if you were to add the phrase, but only for white people, how fast would the popularity of Social Security safety net programs popularity change? They should do that in a weird... is there a way to word that where we can find out that answer? Allegedly. Because, I bet that it would be way more popular, or that anybody, any Republican who is currently attacking Social Security would never make it. But, So Hansen allegedly sent his message intended for the sheriff. I'm going to warn you right now before you beep your life up and get hurt real bad. And his message for Willis, this domestic terrorist allegedly told her to watch everywhere that you're going. There's going to be moments where you're going to be vulnerable, among other things. Jeez, federal officials who investigated the case stressed the seriousness of the charges. Threats against public servants are not only illegal, but also threats against our democratic process, said Carrie Faley, a special agent in charge of the FBI Atlanta. The FBI's mission is to protect the American people and uphold the Constitution. I mean, like, yeah, domestic terrorism is overwhelmingly from the far right, and this guy is a Trumper. He said so himself, and yeah, I mean, this is going to continue. We take this responsibility very seriously and seek to punish those who engage in this type of criminal behavior, and to send the message that this conduct will not be tolerated. At this point, multiple individuals in charged in the sprawling Fulton County case have now accepted guilty pleas, including the Jenna Ellis, the lawyer Jenna Ellis, and Sydney Powell, the Kraken lady. Unfortunately, I have a suspicion that more of these incidents are going to happen. And I suspect that the possibility of something happening in the event that Trump should lose the election, I suspect that the chances of something happening are also pretty solid as well. Domestic terrorists are going to domestic terrorists, I guess. Why do we call her the Kraken lady again? Oh, because she literally said something to the effect of like, when being asked about evidence or something, she said that she was going to release the Kraken or something. Hold on. That's gold. Yeah, here we go. Sorry, give me a second. Ms. Powell has not yet provided any evidence and did not respond to a request for comment. The New York Times has called the election officials and never used a state and found no evidence of voter fraud. At a later point in the interview, this was during an interview where she said this, asserted that the voter fraud had been organized and conducted with the help of Silicon Valley people, big tech, social media companies, and even the regular media companies. Quote, "I'm going to release the Kraken," Ms. Powell said. Yeah, like that's that's literally what she said. So yeah, that's the source on that. Ali with the 12 biddies, thank you so much. I appreciate that. The Kraken got released on her. Who knows? Maybe she will release the Kraken. She's supposed to testify fast. Maybe she'll finally get her chance to release the Kraken in court. So there you have it. The Kraken of MAGA lies, Powell pleading guilty. Yeah, hopefully, like what she, hopefully, by being forced to testify, she might give up some goods. You know, Clash of the Titans was a good movie. I haven't seen that one in a while. Now that I haven't seen that in a while. It's been years. Clash of the Titans was awful. I wasn't that bad. Come on. It makes for a good heavy metal music video. True. All right, folks. I gotta get out of here. It is time. Okay. It is time for dinner. I am hungry. Also, now I'm in the mood to go see that movie. Now that you guys informed me about this. Folks, if you enjoy the content and you want to help out the channel, make sure you hit the follow button. And if you want to go even further beyond and want to help support the channel and you cannot do so monetarily, just head on over to the YouTube channel. I saw quite a few of you on the YouTube channel. I appreciate that, and I thank you guys for hanging out. And I thank you guys for hitting the like button on the YouTube stream. It really does help us out. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, as 247 of you have already done. Thank you for liking the stream on the YouTube. It really does help us out as well. Follow us here and join the conversation on Twitch. Yeah, ding, ding, ding goes the dinner bell. Thank you, Michael Hasser. Yes, there is the link for the YouTube channel. Thank you, Michael Hasser, and thank you, Heat, for modding the channel. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you for the follows. Also, thank you, Cosmopolitics, for the raid. I appreciate that. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate the stream. Yeah, that's also a good point. Please join the Discord. If you join the Discord, you basically get to know what's happening with the stream, and you get like automatic updates, and you also get not updates, you get automatic notifications of when the stream goes live. So when Twitch doesn't do its job and sends notifications, when YouTube doesn't send notifications, because we don't control any of that, if you're on the Discord, it will give you an automatic notification, or should. So join the Discord, and you also get to see what's the articles and post there before the show. And just it's a chill little place to hang out, okay? I promise. Thank you, Omni, for hanging out in the YouTube chat as well. I appreciate it. Thank you, Heat. Thank you, Michael Hasser, for modding in the chat. Also, a couple of quick shoutouts. Mouselander. Everybody follow twitch.tv/Mouselander. Twitch.tv/Cosmo. Let me see if I got this right. It's been real. Thank you. I appreciate it. Very, very consistent. Yep. Mighty Mouse. Mouselander. Thank you. Hold on. I got it wrong. Yeah, I'm always around. Appreciate it. I think I saw Alio as well. There we go. A couple of shoutouts. Twitch.tv/AlioShare, Cosmopolitics, and Mouselander. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate it. Again, we'll be here Monday through Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow. And bring a friend, folks. It really does help us out. We've been doing great. Again, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. As always, folks, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you guys so much. See ya. All right, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.